Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. Tonight we're going to be talking with a couple of organizations that are doing good things in the community. And to start off, we'll be talking with Al Segala, who is the Executive Director of the Mount Hood Community College Foundation. Thanks for being here, Al.
Thank you. You know, you guys have great studios, I have to say that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm very impressed with how MetroEast has really come to be a great asset to the community. So I just wanted to
I like the way you start off tonight. That's great. It is a great asset. I think it is too, and as is the college. And Mount Hood Community College has been around for how long now?
We're coming up on our 50th anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be in 2015?
It's 2016.
2016.
The college was first formed in 1966.
Wow.
It really, the Gresham campus resides on what used to be strawberry fields.
Oh,
so
there are a lot of farms out here.
A lot of farms, a lot of farming. It was surrounded by cabbage fields as well. So in 1966, we had a great community organization of people who wanted to see a college in the East Multnomah County.
Yeah.
No, and so they took on the initiative and took it to voters, and it was formed. And
that's a huge undertaking.
Huge undertaking, you know, but a great undertaking, because one of the things that I ask folks when talking about the college is, imagine if the college didn't exist here. Imagine a Gresham without Mount Hood Community College, because during these past, currently 48 years, we've seen over 1 million students go through the doors of that institution. And so you talk about touching lives of our community, but also touching the economy of this area. The college is one of the major employers. We have about 1,400 full and part-time.
Gee, that's a lot.
Full and part-time staff members.
That's huge.
So it's something that we don't often think about. If you think of a college as being a major corporation, a business, that's a lot of employees.
That's a lot of employees, but not only are you employing a lot of people in the community, but you're preparing others to do this, to be employed in the community.
Yeah,
so.
we're building a workforce, and that's really what the institution is about, to give students the education they need for those jobs that are out there. And one of the things that the college strives to do and continues to do is to work with industry to make sure that we're providing the education that the students need to get those jobs.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a college education just as something that somebody should go through. I think it's a great experience. However, that is really the point of most of it, is to prepare you for a future and to support yourself and to be a contributing member of society. So that's obviously one of your main goals there. But how does Mount Hood Community College differ from other colleges in doing that?
It's in what you're providing. What is it that you're actually doing with your local industry to make sure that the local community members are being prepared for those jobs? In other words, we have partnerships with, for instance, Boeing or Leatherman Tool.
Okay.
We're working with a company called Mhcc, which is also within the local community. So it's working with them.
In what way? In what way?
Sitting down, talking about what is it that you need.
Oh, okay.
What are the skills that you're looking at?
So when you're hiring somebody, what are you looking for?
Yeah. We have a great automotive program, for example. Well, who do we work with? We work with the local automotive dealers. And through the program, this is a great program. A student gets an internship. This is a paid internship with that dealership. So while they're going to school and getting the latest technical training that they need, they're working at a dealer.
That's great. They get that experience, find out if it's really what they want to do. Plus, they have something to put on their resume too.
And they're making money.
That's a great thing.
It's win-win for the dealerships. It's win-win for the student.
Yeah, it sure is. So, so when you're talking with these, you give me an example of the automotive industry. That's probably a really good example because it has changed so much. So in the past, people had to know how to, tinker mechanically, but now there's so much everything's computerized. So it's changed immensely, and trying to keep up with that would be it would be a huge thing. What about people that are already out in the community? Say maybe somebody's been a mechanic and worked on cars for years, but they realize that their knowledge of how things have changed hasn't kept up. Come back to school. Do you get a lot of people that come back to school and try to
we do
get more training and try to keep up with the industry?
Our average student age is 30 years old.
Really?
So we have not only students directly out of high school, but really a lot of them are coming back to school, and for a variety of different reasons. Yeah,
right.
It could be that I want to have a career that I really enjoy.
Hey, imagine that.
So I'm going to go back. I'm going to get that education that I need. Yeah. Or maybe if you're a displaced worker and you need to retool, And what I'm saying is get the skills that lead to another job.
Do you have departments or people at the school that help do like vocational guidance?
Yes,
help you decide what's a good field to go into or what your aptitude is.
One of the things that I stress, or that we stress to students, is to sit down with an advisor.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're going to take the classes that you want to get to the goal that you want, and so that's really key. We have a lot of transfer students. Those are students that are going to the university. Mm-hmm. They start off at the community college. They get their first 2 years at a much more reasonable investment than the university.
It's very expensive.
Get your first 2 years. That's what I did. I started at the community college.
So you can actually attest to that personally.
Yeah. And you're going to pay a lot less. Mm-hmm. You're going to get the same quality of education. And then you're going to transfer and become a junior at that university to continue your career
Everything
goal.
does transfer over. I mean, it's not. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. You sit down with an advisor to make sure it does.
Right. I think I think it's underrated how important it is to have a job you love, or at least like.
I tell students, if you think about the secret to success, is there any answer to that? Well, I think one of those is finding a career that you really love, because it won't be work.
That's right.
You won't call it work.
That's right.
You'll enjoy doing what you love for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. It doesn't matter.
Do you do what you love?
Do what you love is, I think, a really important piece of advice.
Yeah.
And that's what I found out. And that's what I learned from my father. My father was a welder, and he loved it. And he'd boast about his work. He loved telling you about his work. And while I don't see myself as ever, following his footsteps as a welder, but it taught me a good lesson in really believing in what you want to do and do it. And if you're thinking about, okay, I need to worry about money, that's okay. Do what you love, and the money you'll be great at what you do.
The money will come, or you'll be satisfied anyway. And
exactly.
You'll be satisfied with what you have. Yeah. That's funny. My dad sort of had the opposite influence on me, because he had a job that he worked at for 30-some years, but complained about it and wasn't really happy in it. So my thought was, I need to find a job that I enjoy, because I don't want to spend 30 years of my life doing something that I'm not happy at. So, yeah.
And that's what's great about community college, is that a student can experiment. Find out what's out there. Find out the different occupations and careers. Most of our students don't know exactly what they want to do, and that's okay.
And there's pressure, though. It seems like, even growing up, kids are always asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And coming out of high school, you're almost expected to know what you want to be, but you don't know. It's too young, really, right out of high school.
And really, that's what college is about, is learning what it is that's out there and making some of those decisions. I recently met one of our alum who, he started off at the college in our automotive technician program.
Okay.
Graduated with that degree. Then he decided he really wanted to do more. He decided to go into engineering. So he graduated with our engineering transfer degree, went to Portland State, got his bachelor's degree. So he applied at a local business called NACO. Now, he was applying for an engineering job. Well, he expected to talk about his engineering
Right.
They asked him more about his mechanical experience.
Really?
Because what they wanted was, in fact, they hired him right then because he had both of those.
Oh, interesting. So he's able to use the experience from the
He
first.
knew not only from the engineering side, the design, but he knew how to fix things too.
That is so cool.
And NACO is a company that manufactures forklifts. So for them, they have their testing facility here. And for them, this was the perfect employee.
Great.
He had both
Yeah.
hands-on and the engineering
Perfect.
experience.
Perfect.
So it is experimenting, finding out what you want to do. And if you find out truly what you want to do, then excel in it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So Mount Hood has lots of different programs, as all colleges do. Do you have any programs that are specifically unique to Mount Hood?
In fact, I mentioned to you the funeral service program.
Funeral services. So that would be for somebody who wanted to become a funeral director or
Exactly, yeah. And we are the only one in the Northwest. I think the other nearest college is in Idaho, I believe.
Wow.
So very unique.
It takes a special person to do
Takes
that
a
job.
special person. You must love science. You must love doing what you're doing. But it's a very good career.
Yeah.
We have one of our foundation board
There's no shortage
members.
of people to.
No, I mean,
work
it's, yeah.
Yeah.
But one of our foundation board members is a great lady who's currently, well, she's a graduate from our funeral service program who's currently
Oh.
directing 3 different
Three. Wow.
companies.
Funeral-
So
wow.
she's excelled in what she's doing. She's doing what she really enjoys doing, and that's what it's about. And so we have a variety, I think it's in the area of 60 different career programs that you can actually take a look at and decide what is it that I really want to do. Am I good in math? If you're good in math, be an engineer, I tell you.
Yeah.
Those occupations are extremely available, and I don't know if we'll ever be able to fill the number of engineers that are really needed by industry.
So that's a
out
good
there.
field to go into.
Yeah.
What other fields that you know of are really good ones for people to be looking at if it's something they want to do and you think there's a future in
If
it?
you look at the future of our future, our future in industry and business, you're looking at medical. You're looking
That's what I
at
thought.
taking care of our elderly.
Geriatric medicine.
Geriatric.
and,
You're looking at anything with the sciences, technology driven. So that's why I say engineering is still, there's a high demand for engineers throughout the country,
Right.
not just here in Oregon.
So math and science, you better
Math and science.
stick to that, work on those. 'Cause
That's why the college is investing more in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and we've added, actually to that, we've changed it to STEAM. So we've added an A to STEM for industrial arts as well. Because technologically, that's what you really need when you're looking at what are some of those growing careers. And I go back to my example of our alumni, our alum who had both the hands-on mechanical
and the
and the engineering
Right.
experience. So the fields that we're looking at when you talk to industry are, we all know, technology driven.
right, and it's all changing so fast
Yeah.
too that it's really hard to keep up. So, but you are the executive director of the foundation. Tell me a little bit. What does the foundation do for the college?
The foundation supports the efforts of the institution in a couple of ways.
Okay.
That is providing scholarships for our students. Every year we provide hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of our students' ability to pay for their college education.
And now these are not loans. These are
No,
they're not
these are
grants, they're
scholarships.
actually scholarships.
Yeah, so there's a variety of different scholarships. If you go to Mount Hood or you go to another institution, make sure you speak to financial aid, find out what dollars are there, and apply for the scholarships. I tell students, if it takes you 2 hours to apply for a certain scholarship, say it's a $1,000 scholarship, and you get it, how much did you make per hour? That's a pretty good wage.
It's a pretty good wage.
So the
I could live
investment
with
is
that.
worth your time
Yeah.
in the money that's there. And too often I hear from students who believe, well, I'll never get it,
And so they don't try.
so they don't try.
Are the scholarships based on need or merit or both?
Both,
Or?
depending on the scholarship itself.
Okay.
It could be
So
a need-based.
don't be dissuaded because you think,
No, if you think, well, I don't qualify because maybe my income isn't as low as some scholarships might require, that's not true. Some of them are scholastically driven. In other words, what's your GPA for a certain program? If you're going to go towards nursing, scholarships are there. And maybe it requires a different, a GPA of a certain number. So there's a variety of possibilities there.
so don't count it out until you've
Don't
checked
count
it
it
out.
out. Don't count it out. The last thing that the foundation wants to see is that no one applied.
Yeah, well, if the money's there,
The
shoot,
money's
let's-
there.
yeah.
Please apply.
So that's really good advice right there.
Yeah.
So
totally.
where does the money come from?
Great supporters, great donors. It's
Alumni,
a
probably.
variety of different donors, everything from individual community members to partnerships with corporations. So we hold different fundraising events throughout the year. We'll be holding one here in October. It's a bowling event,
Oh, fun.
bowling fundraiser. And we do an auction. We do an internal giving campaign. So we ask our staff to, they're doing a lot for our students anyway, but they're still standing up and saying, well, I'm going to give financially.
Now, and
to
that
this
says
cause.
something if they do that, because that says they really believe in what, in
We
what they're
kicked
doing.
off a campaign at the beginning of the school year, and we had a goal of an internal giving of $10,000. They busted that.
Really?
21,000.
Wow.
And continuing to grow. So
That's
it shows
impressive.
you how caring they are in knowing what the mission is and wanting to make sure that we fulfill that mission.
Have you personally met some of the students who have received the scholarships?
Oh,
and
definitely. Yeah.
Can you tell me, you don't need names, can you tell me about anybody that's actually really benefited from it? Just give me an example.
We have great examples are some of our single moms. Okay, these are single parents who are working to not only support the family, there's a sole supporter, but also to go back and get an education, get a career.
Takes a lot of discipline.
So, yeah, and we have a program called Transitions that really works with a lot of these women to help get them into the education thought of mind.
It's hard to
Provide
get
them
that
that
into their mind.
support.
You're the sole support and you have your
Yeah.
kids to take care of. It'd be a very difficult thing to mentally leap over that hurdle over that obstacle of going back to school.
And what's great through this program is one of the main initiatives is to teach you about financial aid, to apply for
really?
scholarships, to make sure that you've got that knowledge of, hey, there's money here.
There's
Here's
help.
how you go about
Reach
it.
out for it. You
And
might-
I've known great women who have paid for their education through the scholarships.
Cool. That's
They,
great.
they, as we say, they figure it out,
Uh-huh.
and they learn how to apply for scholarships. They learn that, yes, you write essays for some of them. And,
Wow.
yeah.
And if people have need help, just kind of navigating through that, I imagine you have advisors that kind of help them,
Yes.
all the way
Definitely.
through.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I guess that's a great point, is don't be afraid to ask for that assistance.
Yeah.
Capitalize on the assistance that's there.
That's what they're there for,
You're
I'm
not-
sure.
None of us do it by ourselves, so capitalize on those who are willing to help you.
Great.
And that's what you find at a college. And that's the goal of our institution. The goal of our staff is to support the students so that they can excel in reaching their goals.
That's a great way to end this segment. We're out of time. So thank you so much, Al, for being here tonight.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And if you are interested in getting more information about Mount Hood Community College, you can go to their website and check it out. As Al mentioned, there are lots of people there ready to help you out and help you navigate through going back to school or just going there after high school and get that job that you love. We'll be right back in just a few minutes with more of Community Hotline.
is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.